नमस्सर्वेभ्यः। लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुद्याः अस्मिन् वर्गे सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। नत्वा सरस्वतीं देवीं शुद्धां गुण्यां करोम्यहं पाणिनीयप्रवेशाय लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुदीम्. So in today's class, we will take a very quick recap of the Achsandhi Prakaranam of the Laghu Kaumudi. So it's a long chapter, so it's rather difficult to cover it comprehensively. But I will try to give an overview of the different sandhis we saw, and then we will take any questions you may have. Okay. So the Samnya Prakaranam of the Laghu Kaumudi introduces some of the most important terms and concepts which are essential for learning the sandhis. Right? So sandhi, as we know, is a varna karya. To understand sandhis, we need to know about the different letters. So that is why there was an in-depth analysis of the different letters, their sthana, prayatna, etc. So that whole stuff and the concept of savarnya was covered. Along with that, a few samjnas which are very important. So as we know, even in the Achsandhi Prakaranam, as and when required, he will introduce other samjnas, but some of the basic things like it, etc. were covered there, right? So starting the Achsandhi Prakaranam, we understood three major terms: Samhita, Sandhikaryam, and Sandhihi. So Samhita was already defined. Parasannikarshah. Closeness between letters is called Samhita, but that closeness is not always optional or our choice. So there are in the language some contexts in which you cannot break the Samhita. That is, you have to pronounce the letters or the groups of letters together. So ekapade nitya, a single word, and pada in all times in Paninian grammar refers to subanta or tinganta. So within a single word, samhita is compulsory. It does not mean that sandhi will always happen. Please understand, all we are saying is samhita is compulsory. When there is samhita, sandhi may happen optionally, sandhi may not happen. That's a different thing. Samhita is compulsory, which means the prerequisite for a sandhi will always exist. Whether or not sandhi happens requires other stuff. So, ekapade dhatu upasargayoho. Between a dhatu and an upasarga, we have seen both samyas, samase, and within a samasa. In all these three contexts, samhita is compulsory. Outside these, if you have independent words in a sentence, samhita is optional. That is, it depends on the intent of the speaker whether to have samhita or not. When there is samhita, if there is a change in letters, it is called sandhi. Samhitayam satyam varna vikaraha. And when there is samhita, if there is no change, when there is the conditions for a change exist, we call it prakriti bhava. So both sandhi and prakriti bhava exist within the context of samhita. So samhita means you have the basic eligibility for getting a job, but it does not mean you will always get a job. So you may get selected or you may be rejected based on specific further criteria. So samhita is that minimum eligibility to apply. So once you apply, whether you get or not will depend on the other sutras. So once there is samhita, whether sandhi will happen or not will depend on other factors. And sandhi is a varna karya. We are only changing the letter and not the words or the padas themselves. So this, I think, still you may not be able to appreciate the full essence of this statement, but as we go on, we will hopefully understand it better. So this modification or sandhi can be of three major kinds, which is adesha or substitution, one or more letters being substituted by one or more letters. Agama, all the existing letters remain, a new letter or more letters is added. Or lopa, one or more existing letters are removed or elided. Okay, this is a general one. You can also say there is dvitva, doubling is also a possible karya. Right? The other major aspect to understand before getting into sandhis themselves is to understand how to approach a sutra. When a sutra states something, how exactly do we understand the operation? So this one, hopefully all of you must be very familiar by now. So the actual operation is indicated by prathama vibhakti and is called karyam or vidheyaha, etc. Where does it operate? The position is marked by shashti vibhakti called the sthani, and the other conditions which need to exist for this transformation. So which can either come before the sthani, when it would be indicated by panchami vibhakti, or after the sthani, when it would be indicated by saptami vibhakti. Right? So there are paribhashas, shashti sthane yoga, tasmadityuttarasya, tasminniti nirdishte purvasya, which summarize these three. For prathama, there is no paribhasha, because even in normal language, the subject or what happens is given in prathama. When I say vrikshaha, it means vrikshaha asti or vrikshaha bhavati. So it doesn't need to be specified. Right? So purva nimittat parasya, sthaninaha sthane, paranimitte pare karyam bhavati. That is the standard phraseology of grammar. So ikaha sthane achipare yan bhavati, achah parasya yarah sthane anachi dvitvam bhavati or dve bhavati. So to understand those standard terms, we need to understand the implication of these vibhaktis. So with this prelude, we started with the sandhis. Sandhis are usually counted as 7 in number. Some of them are not counted, like as we know now, say for example, the avang adesha of go shabda, it is not given by a separate name as such. We just call it avang adesha. Popularly, or the most important sandhis we see are 7. So the first one is the yan sandhi. So all these sutras are introduced in the Laghu Kaumudi in the context of yan sandhi, but not all of them are related to yan sandhi at all. There is only one sutra which directly gives yan sandhi, which is Iko Yanachi. A single vidhi sutra for yanadesha is Iko Yanachi. Ikaha sthane achipare yan bhavati. But we have paribhashas to understand this. Tasmin iti nirdishte purvasya. So when I say achi, it means the karya is on the ik, which is immediately before the ach. So it is a paribhasha which gives the meaning of saptami vibhakti. Also, when I say yan, yavarala, there are 4 adeshas given. So which of them do I pick for a particular sthani? That is given by the paribhasha sthanen taratamaha. Prasange sati sadrishatamaha adeshaha bhavati. So you pick the letter which is closest to the sthani in terms of ucharana sthana or the prayatna. So ikara is talu, therefore I pick yakara, which is also a talavya varna. Right? So this is just about the yan sandhi. In the context of yan sandhi, that is when we take sudhi upasyaha, doing yan, it becomes sudhyupasyaha. He introduces 2 unrelated karyas. One is the dvitvam given by anachicha, dhakara gets dvitva. The other is the jashtva, su, d, dh, ya, upasyaha. So dvitva is vikalpa, optional. So we have sudhyupasyaha and sudhyupasyaha, 2 forms which are correct. Then he raised a question, Once I do the end sandhi, can I apply sanyogantasya lopaha? Because when I say I do end, I have suddhy, dhakara yakarayoh sanyogaha padante. Because it is a samasa, in a samasa, the first component is a pada. So we have a sanyoga at the end of the pada. Can I remove that yakara? Or yand, whenever we do yand sandhi, this is possible. So then he says, yanah pratishedho vachyaha. In a sanyoga, if there is a yand letter at the end, it is not deleted. That is a specific vartika. Right? So in under sanyogantasya lopaha, we have the vartika yanah pratishedho vachyaha, which is a sanyoganta lopasya nishedhaha, prohibition of sanyoganta lopa. To understand that sanyoganta lopa, we had the paribhasha alontyasya, which we again studied later as a part of the 4 paribhasha metrics, right? So that is about the end sandhi. The next sandhi we saw was the ayadi sandhi. So for the ayadi sandhi itself, there are 3 sutras. Always please be very clear about which are the vidhi sutras and which are just accessory or related sutras. So the ayadi sandhi itself is given by 3 sutras or vartikas, right? So echo yavayavaha, echaha achipare ayavayavaha adeshaha bhavanti. That's a separate domain. Vanto yi pratyaye, yakarado pratyaye pare odautoho avavau adeshau bhavataha. That is a different context. And adva parimane is go plus yutihi gavyutihi, a single example. So that is another context. So in 3 different contexts, it is possible to have the ayadi sandhi, right? Then you have this paribhasha. When I say a chaha, a o I au, and adeshas are ay av, which is the adesha for what? So that paribhasha, yathasankhya paribhasha, is yathasankhya manudesha samanam. Wherever there are equal numbers in Vyakarana, you can just take it respectively. So 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, and so on. Next, we saw 2 sutras, which actually in Laghu Kaumudi, it is taken at a later stage. So this is 24. After Guna, he takes it, but it is actually related to Echoyavayavaha. Whenever we apply the Ayadi Sandhi at Padanta, right? So whenever it is say Hare Ehi becomes Harayu Ehi. So the conditions for the sutra lopashakalyasya are satisfied because we get padante yakaraha or vakaraha followed by an ash letter. So in such a context, the ya or va can be optionally deleted. So hara ehi harayehi iti rupadvayam bhavati. Lopashakalyasya ityanena yalopaha valopo va yatra kriyate. After deleting any yakara or vakara by lopashakalyasya, you cannot further do swara sandhis, which is a very, very important concept in Vyakarana. Why is explained by Purvatra Siddham. So the sutra number 8319. So lopashakalyasya lies in the section of Ashtadhyayi called the Tripadi. The last 3 padas of Ashtadhyayi are called Tripadi. And that section is like invisible to the rest of the Ashtadhyayi. So all the Sandhi Sutras, as you can see, from Iko Enachi till Akasavarne Dirghaha or Engah Padantadati, all of them are in 6-1, the Sapada Saptadhyayi. So Purvatra Siddham says, Sapada Saptadhyayim Prati Tripadi Asiddha. Asiddha means it is unknown or invisible. So the deletion or the lopa of yakara or vakara is not recognized by the Swarasandhi Sutras. So they still assume that the yakara or vakara, for example, in Haray Ehi, So I have removed the yakara, but they fail to recognize this deletion. They just assume that the yakara is still there. Similarly with say Vish Gurav Ehi. So Gurav Ehi. So the Vakara Lopa is not recognized. So according to any sutra in 6.1, so there is ya and there is va. So they don't have any scope of acting. So hara ehi, gura ehi. Swarasandhis will not happen after lopashaakalyasya because of purvatra siddham. Right? So purvatra siddham. It's a very, very important concept in Vyakarana, which has far-reaching consequences. So as and when we come to different different vidhis, we will understand it better, especially when we come to the Hal Sandhi Prakaranam. The entire Hal Sandhi is in the Tripadi, at the end of Tripadi, 8-4. Right? Excuse me, just a moment. Sorry. Okay, so when we come to Hal Sandhis, we will see much more about Purvatra Siddham in the order in which to apply the sutras and so on. So we will go into the next one, which is Guna Sandhi. So before that, I want to answer one question which is taken here. So why is eco energy listed in LSK before the next two sutras? That is Tasminiti Nirdishte Purvasyan Sthanentratamaha. That is the style of both the Kaumudi and Laghu Kaumudi. They will introduce a main sutra, and whatever is related or required for that sutra will come after that. Right. Say for example, here also Sanyogantasya Lopaha comes, and then to understand that he will introduce Alontyasya. Right. So if it is a Samjna, he will usually give it before, but in other cases it can come after also. Both of these are seen. So samnyas are usually given before getting into the Vidhi Sutra, but the other related paribhashas etc. are given after mentioning the sutra. So the third sandhi is the Guna Sandhi. Again, very simple. There is only one sutra which actually gives Guna Sandhi. Ad Gunaha. Right? Avarnad achipare Gunaha bhavati. So to know Guna, we need the Guna Samjna given by Adeng Gunaha. There you have that t eng. That takara has a very special function. So taparas tatkalasya. Tatkala savarna grahanam. So it brings in savarnas of only that kala, which is Hrasva Akara and Dirgha Eng. Those are called Guna. And in Guna Sandhi, the Guna letters are given as the Adesha. Right? Now in Guna Sandhi, we have we know that there is apavada. Guna Sandhi is a very big utsarga, right? So there are lots of apavadas for Guna Sandhi. So when there is akara following, akasavarne dirghaha will be an apavada. Vriddhi is also an apavada. So Guna Sandhi in effect operates only for I, U, R, L. So in that also for R and L, the Adesha becomes Rapara, comes along with Repha or Lakara. So A is a Guna letter which comes along with Repha. So Ar and Al. That paribhasha is the Uran Raparaha, in which Ra is a Pratyahara. Hayavarat ityatra Rephasya Lan ityatra Akarena saha Pratyaharaha bhavati. Okay. So that is the Guna Sandhi. Next, we have the Vriddhi Sandhi, in which, as you can see, there are a lot of Vidhanam. So, Apavadas will always generally have more Vidhanas than Utsargas. So there are multiple contexts in which we have vriddhi. So vriddhirechi, vriddhi is vriddhiradeich, a, I and au. So we have sutras, we have multiple vartikas. All of them are applicable only in specific context, a few words each, right? None of them are very wide. We also have the upasarga dhriti dhatau. If there is an akaranta upasarga followed by a rikaradi dhatu, instead of guna we have vriddhi. To understand that, we went into the samnya, upasarga samnya and dhatu samnya. Upasargaha kriya yoge. Pradis, pra, para, apasam, etc. When they are associated with a kriya, they are called upasargas. And the words listed in bhu, etc., they are called dhatus when they indicate an action. So with those two, we have the upasarga dhriti dhatu. That is about the vriddhi sandhi. Most of it is straightforward except etyedhatyutsu, because etyedhatyutsu is an apavada to a later sutra. We have not yet seen the utsarga. So further on in the next sandhi, he will say engi pararupam. Avarnantad upasargat engadau dhatau pare. Whenever an akara of an upasarga is followed by an eng which belongs to a dhatu, there should be pararupa. But for these two dhatus, in dhatu and edha dhatu, we don't want pararupa, we want vriddhi. We want vriddhi means the language has vriddhi. Therefore, this sutra is there, etyedhatyutsu. Right? The next, the fourth sandhi was pararupa, or the fifth sandhi was pararupa sandhi. So there are three shastras which give pararupa. Engi pararupam, omangoscha are two sutras, and shakandhadishu pararupam, vachyam or vaktavyam is a vartika. All three give pararupa in different contexts. So the shakandhadi pararupa is for the T part of it, right? So vakya, the T of the purva and the para will get the pararupa. It applies only to specific words. Omangoscha applies only when followed by om or ang, especially an ang upasarga which has already undergone some other sandhi. So that is the context in which we apply omangoscha. Antadivacha, I told last class, I will repeat here. It is nothing huge. It is called an Attidesha Sutra. It is superimposing the properties of the sthani. Since this is an ekadesha, you have purva and para as both as sthanis. So the properties of both can be superimposed on the adesha. That is what it literally means. So in a plus ihi, even after you do the sandhi to do ehi, in that ekara, you can still find the properties of ang. You still treat it as ang and do the sandhi. That is all it means. Okay. Next, the two sandhis have only one sutra each. Akasavarne dirghaha and engah padantarati for savarna dirgha and purva rupa. So very simple, both of them are apavadas. Savarna dirgha is an apavada to guna and yan. Purva rupa is an apavada to echo yava yavaha. So after that, we went into the go shabda, which has certain specific karyas meant specifically for it. So first thing, when followed by hrasva akara, it gets an optional prakriti bhava. When followed by any ach, it gets an optional avangadesha. And when followed by the indra shabda, it gets an compulsory avangadesha. So we get different forms based on the combination. You can have prakriti bhava plus avang plus purva rupa, or we can have avang and echoyava yavaha, right, based on what is the this one. Okay, so in this context we also studied the paribhashas The four paribhashas, alontyasya, nitya, adeh parasya, and anekalshit sarvasya. Wherever the sthani happens to be anekal, that is, contains multiple letters, we don't always replace the complete sthani. So sometimes we replace the whole of it, sometimes a part of it. So those were decided by these paribhashas. Again, the paribhashas we will know much more better when we apply them in different contexts. For now, all that we need to understand is in avang. Ava is the adesha. It is replacing only the okara of go. It is not replacing the complete go shabda. Even though there is anuvritti of goho, goho sthane avang bhavati. We don't take off goho completely, go completely and put ava. We retain the gakara and replace only okara with ava. That is how we get gavagram or gavakshaha, etc. So that is because of the paribhasha nitya. Right? So which says if the adesha is nit, it becomes an antadesha. Okay. The last section was the prakriti bhava section. Pluta pragrihya achinityam is the sutra which gives prakriti bhava. So pluta and pragrihya, when followed by the ach, gets prakriti bhava. So this was one question which different people had a doubt with. For example, if I have say santi plus ami, okay, ami gets pragrihya samnya by adasomat. Okay, so if I have santi plus ami, can I do a sandhi or not was the question, because it has pragrihya samnya. So the thing is pragrihyasya achi pare. Actually here the pragrihya samnya is not even for ami, it is only for the ikara of ami. When that ikara is followed by an ach, then only we have the prakriti bhava. So if there is something before it, you will not get prakriti bhava. So whether it is santi ami or whatever, you have agni, santi agni. In agni, the ikara will get agnihi agni. So pragrihya samnya by idude dvivachanam pragrihyam. But that does not mean that you cannot do any sandhi for agni. Pluta pragrihyaha achi pare, when followed by the ach. So this ikara, when it is followed by an ach, it does not undergo a sandhi. That is all it means. There is nothing which prevents this from undergoing a transformation with something before this. Say mama agni, if you say, there is nothing which can prevent the savarna dirgha here. The prevention is only here, the pragrihya when followed by the ach. Okay. So for that we understood where we have pluta. Say calling out from afar, we have the pluta, and we have several things which give pragrihya. So ikaranta, ukaranta, ekaranta, dvivachanas are called pragrihya. Adda shabda, if you have makara followed by e or u, you get pragrihya. If it is an ekach nipata, you get pragrihya, and so on. So we understood the pragrihya samnya. To understand pragrihya, we also went into nipata samnya. Then maya unyaha vova. It's a very specific sutra only for the nipata called unya, which is u. Right? So when there is a mai letter before, like kim u. So this actually gets pragrihya samnya by nipata eka janang, and you have prakriti bhava, but there is a specific adesha which is given later in the tripadi, right? So which converts this ukara to a vakara. Unyaha vakara desha vidhanam anena kriyate. Then we have two other sutras for prakriti bhava, iko savarne shakalyasya hrasvascha and rityakaha. Both of them are optional prakriti bhavas combined with a hrasva. Okay. So अकः ऋकारे परे ह्रस्व ऋकारे परे और इकः असवर्णे अचि परे ह्रस्वः ह्रस्वसमुच्चितः प्रकृतिभावः भवति. We also saw the other dvitva, which is the achorahabhyam dve. Right? So that is the very quick this of Achsandhis. Now, if you have questions. How is Hare Padanta? Hare Ehi. He Hare. Sambodhana Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachanam. It is a Subanta. Okay. Ayadi Sandhau Yanah Pratishedho Vachyaha Ityanena Kimartham Lopashakalyasya Ityasya Nishedhaha na bhavati. So there is a question in Haraye Ehi. So why can't I apply Yanaha Pratishedho Vachyaha? Why is not Yalopa prevented here? So the Yalopa being prevented is purely in the context of Sanyogantasya Lopaha. Right? So if we go back and see here, that Vartika is not a general Pratishedha. It doesn't say you can never delete a Yakara. It says Sanyogantasya Lopaha Yanah Pratishedho Vachyaha. So Sanyogantasya Lopaha does not happen for a Yand letter. Here there is no Sanyoga at all and there is no context for Yanah Pratishedho Vachyaha. Okay. Please explain 132 Upadeshe Ajanunasika it. So Upadeshe Anunasikaha Ach Itsamyah Syat. Wherever in Upadesha. So Upadesha means any Adesha, Agama, Pratyaya, Lopa, anything. So if you have an Anunasika Swara, Anunasika letter, it gets Itsamya. Anunasika vowel, Ach, it gets an Itsamya. Say you have a Pratyaya called Su. So if it is Anunasika, so I'll repeat it here. Writing this Chandra Bindu is not compulsory in Vyakarana. So don't ask me if I just write Su somewhere, how will it get its samya? Anunasikas are assumed. It is only a very, very recent convention to actually represent the Anunasika. Otherwise, Anunasika has to be known by context, by commentaries. In Su Pratyaya, Su is the first Pratyaya of the Sup. Right? Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachana. The Ukara is Anunasika. Because it is Anunasika, it gets it samya. Because it is it gets deleted and the Pratyaya becomes S. Okay. So in Lan, so the Akara is Anunasika. So because it is Anunasika, it gets it samya. Okay. So there is a related question. What was the need to make the Lan an it letter when Ra Pratyahara could have been made with Ran? So if Panini had used Ran, we wouldn't have a problem. He didn't use Ran, that is the problem. He used Raparaha. So they are just trying to interpret Raparaha to mean Repha and Lakara. So that can only be done by saying the Ra itself is a Pratyahara. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? As in the changing
Yes,
screen?
Yes.
It's fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 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 A plus ichhati echhati arthah kaha lat rupam va. Lat bhavitum arhati. So I'm not sure if that word is actually used, but a samantad ichhati ityarthe bhavitum arhati. Like I say agachhati, I can say echhati. Bahu ichhati, purnatah ichhati ityarthe lat lakarasya rupam bhavitum arhati. In anekal shit, where is shit in bhu and ais? There is no shit, there is anekal. There are two conditions in anekal shit. One is anekal, which is to have multiple letters in the adesha. So bhu as an adesha is anekal. Ais is anekal because they have more than one letter in the adesha. Aikara and sakara, bhakara and ukara. Shit is separate. Say ash is shit. There is only akara, but it has the shakara as it. So anekal and shit are not a single condition, they are two separate conditions. Samhitayam sutra has different numbers and different adhyayas. Yes, there are 3 different samhitadhikaras. I think I had explained in that when I introduced the samhita. So yes, there are different this ones. Okay. So can I post this file in the course page? Yeah, I will put it up in the midterm resources section. Can we write the exam in English and Sanskrit mixed? You can. I mean, it's basically your convenience how you are able to express yourself well. I said fully Sanskrit is preferred because the course is supposed to be in Sanskrit. But finally, you have to understand and you should be able to express yourself well. How is Suddhya considered a pada? Since the sutra says Sanyogantasya padasya lopaha. So I keep repeating, please understand in any samasa, the first component is always a pada. Right, so samasa is between subantas. We delete the supratyaya, but the first part is still a pada. Say I have ganana mishaha, I take gana plus isha. Even though what we see as gana is a pratipadika, there is a deleted pratyaya there which makes this a pada. The first component of a samasa is always a pada. You can take that for granted because there is always a supratyaya there which is deleted, and we have a rule in Vyakarana, pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam. Even when the pratyaya is deleted, it still exerts its influence. So the first component in a samasa is always a pada. So we have this in different contexts. When I say go agram, how is go a pada? It is a samasa, so it is a pada. So sudhi upasyaha, sudhi sudhibhihi upasyaha iti samasaha. So when I do a samasa, the first part is a pada. And the other important rule or concept of grammar is just because you change a letter, that does not change the original identity of the particle. So sudhi is a pada. If I convert the ikara to yakara to make it sudhya, that does not make it something totally different, right? So there is a very nice example given by the Bhashyakara in the Mahabhashya. He says, Chinne puchhe shvashvaiva na ashvaha navagardabhaha. So he says there is a dog. You cut off the tail of a dog, it doesn't become a donkey or a horse. It is still a dog. So in a particular context, if you are changing something partly, say an ikara is changed to yakara, this is not something else. It is still the same sudhi, as in it is still a pada. So the padatva property is not hampered by changing one letter or two letters. It is very similar. I also told that when I say edha dhatu, in dhatu. So e becomes a in eti, but it is still in dhatu. So if you make letter changes or adeshas within a word, it does not change the original identity. So sudhi upasyaha is a pada, so sudhi is a sudhi upasyaha is a samasa, so sudhi is a pada. Because sudhi is a pada, sudhya is also a pada, and it is a pada ending in a sanyoga. Meaning of antara. Antara is used in different meanings. In halonantara sanyogaha, antara is used to indicate separation. So na antaram yesham, there is no separation. So anantaraha halaha, two consecutive hulls without a separation are called sanyoga. Whereas in sthane antaratamaha, antara means sadrisha, similar. So antaratama is sadrisha tama. So the word antara does have different meanings. So when I say deshantaram, it means anyaha deshaha. It means other. So it is used in multiple meanings. So the meanings are different in for long answer, we can write and make PDF is okay. Absolutely okay. I've been telling you, you can either write, take photos and make PDF, or you can type and make PDF, whichever is your convenience. I will only look at the PDF. How it is done is purely your choice. Okay, what is the time? We have 15 minutes, so there's a request. I think whatever was directly related to the exam, those questions I've answered. There are a few which are what I would call out of syllabus for this level of Laghu Kaumudi. Okay, so please feel free to write to me with an email if you have questions which we have not directly covered in class. So I'll be glad to answer them, but I don't want to take them right here because it will end up confusing people. So please write to me in an email or message. I usually try to respond to all such requests. Okay. So now the last part of today's class, I just want to concentrate on the exam paper. So there's a quick question on can I show the paper and what is expected. I think that already had the details, what is expected, right? So, but let me just quickly show it. So there are certain basic questions about the test. I thought it should be clear by now. The test, how long is the test? 2 hours each. The descriptive paper will be sent on Saturday morning at 6 o'clock Indian time. You can answer it at any time of your choice. I say 2 hours, that is the expected time. If you take 2.5, it's okay, as in I'm not very particular about it. The prescribed time for the paper is 2 hours, and I expect if you have studied and if you know the stuff, you should be able to answer it. So this section is for 50 marks. You can answer it at any time from 6 a.m. on Saturday till you take up the objective test. The objective test is on 2 slots on Sunday. Whichever is convenient, you can attend. Before you attend the objective test, you should have the PDF ready. That is all the expectation. You should have written your descriptive answers, taken the photos, made a PDF, and then sit for the objective test. In the objective test itself, there will be a question which says upload the descriptive answer paper. So you just have to click there on the upload file, select the PDF file and then upload. That's it. That is the process. The time for the objective test is also 2 hours, right? 50 marks each. Both sections are worth 50 marks each, and each of them is 2 hours, which I think is almost in a normal exam, 3 hours is the time for 100 marks. So I'm giving 4 hours. So it is, I assume, more than enough. Okay. So the instructions are here. Please read the instructions. Write the answers neatly. If I cannot read your answer, there is no way I can give marks. Take a clear photo. Whenever you are taking, especially if the hand shakes or if I cannot read. There are many times when the photos will become shaky or not readable. So please open the photo once and see if the photo is clear. If not, retake the photo. Rename the file. Please don't use I mean, whenever you create a normal file, it will have some random system generated name, which is very difficult for us to trace. So please put your name as the file name. You can put LSK and say Saumya with whatever your name, or you can just put your name. It is purely for identification, right? So in the second part, there will be an option. You can upload the language. I have clearly stated Sanskrit is preferred, but if you are not comfortable, you can use English. So 2021. Okay, sorry. So I'm still in 2020. This is 2021. Okay. So there may be marks deducted if you write in English, which is purely discretionary depending on this one. Okay. So that is meant to encourage Sanskrit, not to discourage something else. So this one, and see, write point wise, not long paragraphs. You don't need to write full essays, but you need to convey all the information required. Writing sutras and examples is compulsory, not the sutra numbers. You don't need to remember any sutra number, except maybe Lopashakalyasya, just to say that it is in the Tripadi. Okay, no other case, you don't need to know the numbers, but the sutra itself, please practice writing sutras correctly. No spelling mistakes in sutras, and examples is required. Okay. Is the objective test like the previous ones? Yes, it is exactly like the previous ones. You will have to select the answers in the Google form. Are you giving the time slot? The time slot has already been sent. It is the same, I think. I mean, morning 8 to 10 or evening 6:30 to 8:30 or some such thing. Please check your email. It is also available in the course page. So please try to use the course page. We are trying to include all the information there. So there is a separate section called midterm assessment resources. So please use that for any doubts. The question paper is, the slots, the dates, everything is available here. Okay, so I'll just show you that before going into the exam pattern. Ouch. So midterm assessment resources. So if you go there, as I mentioned last time, the announcement is there, which gives all the timings, etc. There is the sample paper, there is the demo, and the revision class of last time is here. I will also upload the slides. Today's class will also be uploaded here. Okay. So coming back to the paper, the first section is Vartikanam artham ekena vakyena vilikhya udaharanam yachata. Explain the meaning in one sentence and give an example. This is only for 2 marks each. You don't need to write more. All Vartikas, we have about 9 or 10 Vartikas. That is all we have. You will have 5, out of which you can answer any 3 of your choice. Just one line clearly stating the meaning of the Vartika. So if, say, for example, Aksharuhinyam upasankhyanam, when Aksha Shabda is followed by Uhini Shabda, there is Vriddhi as the Ekadesha. Aksha Shabdat Uhini Shabde pare Vriddhihi Ekadesha bhavati. Kim udaharanam? Aksha plus Uhini, Akshauhini. You can put it as Akshauhini in brackets, or you can put it as Akshauhini. So that is all, either 1 or 2. So if there is a praduhodhodheshaishyeshu pra upasargat uha udha udhi esha eshya ityeteshu pareshu पूर्वपरयोः वृद्धिः एकादेशः भवति. Udaharanam pra-uhaha prauhaha, pra-udhaha praudhaha. You don't need to write all examples. If there are multiple, you can give 2 examples. That is all. Okay. Okay. So the next one is short notes. So again, you will have 4 and all the things are listed. So it will be only from one of these, only out of these that you will be asked. You will have to answer any 3 out of the 4. So the expected answer is just 5 or 6 lines. Say there is Ashtadhyayi. So what is Ashtadhyayi? Who wrote Ashtadhyayi? How many chapters and padas are there? What does the Ashtadhyayi contain? That's all. Right. Say it samnya. So it is a samnya in Vyakarana given by Halantyam Upadeshaya Jananasika it. One example for both of them is enough. So wherever applicable, you have to mention the sutra. You don't need to explain the sutra in detail. So you don't have to explain Halantyam in full detail. Okay. So you can say Halantyam, just a single line. So the ending consonant of Upadesha. Upadeshe antyam hal it bhavati. Udaharanam a ivun ityatra nakaraha it. Upadeshe anunasikaha achi itsamyaha bhavati. Udaharanam, you can give anything. You can give say kuchu tu tu pu. Ku ityatra ukaraha anunasikaha ataha itsamyam prapnoti. Dhatuhu भूवादयो धातवः इत्यनेन धातुसंज्ञा दीयते. भ्वादिषु पठिताः क्रियावचनाः धातुसंज्ञकाः भवन्ति. भ्वादि इत्यादि धातुपाठे 10 गणाः सन्ति. प्रायः 200 धातवः सन्ति. उदाहरणं भू, पठ, वन्द, whatever, any 2 or 3 dhatus which you have, you can give as an example. That is not 5-6 lines. That is 5-6 lines. Now, when I say 5-6, it means only that. So dhatuhu iti vyakaranasya samnya. Samnya vidhayakam sutram asti bhuvadayo dhatavaha. Sutrasya arthaha. Bhadigane patitaha kriyavachanaha dhatu samnyaha bhavanti. Dhatu pathaha paninina virachitaha. Yatra prayaha 200 dhatavaha santi. Udaharanam bhu edh. Panchavakyani. For Bahya Prayatna, the answer is long. It need not be long. See, presentation is purely what you write. You can say Bahya Prayatnaha Varnotpattau Kakalakat Purvam Kriyamanaha Prayatnaha. You can say Ekadasha Bahya Prayatnaha Santi and just put the table. Samvara Nada Ghosha, which letters? You can also say just Hush. Then Vivara Shwasa Aghosha for Khar. Alpa Prana, Varganam 1, 3, 5 and Yaralava. Mahapranaha, Varganam, Dvitiya Chaturtha Varnaha and Shashasaha. That's all. So, you can write as required. You don't need to write everything that you know. So, any exam, the expectation is you write what is asked and what is required. That is exactly why I gave this one. Say Nipata. What is Nipata? Nipataha iti samnya bhavati. Chadayo satve. Chadigane patitaha shabdaha nipata samnyaha bhavanti. Udaharanam cha, a, e. And then pradayaha. Pradigane patitaha shabdaha nipata samnyaha bhavanti. Udaharanam pra-para. If you remember, you can say there are 22 words. You don't need to say that. That is all you need for this. Right? You don't need to write about Nipata Eka Janang for Nipataha. It is just asking you about Nipatas, not about the Pragrihya Samnya for Nipatas. Can we write charts or diagrams? Absolutely. Charts, tables, diagrams, anything is allowed. Okay, there is no restriction on that. So Asiddhatvam. Purvatra Siddham. Mention Purvatra Siddham and the 2 lines. So Sapara Saptadhyayim Prati Tripadi Asiddha. Tripadyam Purvam Prati Param Shastram Asiddham. Udaharanam Kim. लोपशाकल्यस्य इति सूत्रं त्रिपाद्याम् अस्ति. यलोपे कृते तस्य असिद्धत्वात् स्वरसन्धिः न भवति. Example for lopashakalyasya and no swarasandhi after it. Okay. So the next one is sutrartham sodaharanam vivrunuta. Very important. There are 8 questions. You can answer any 5. So here what is expected? The pada vibhaga. Say iko enachi, ikaha yan achi. Is there any anuvritti or adhikara? Samhitayam iti adhikaraha. So if I say ad gunaha, आत् गुणः इति पदद्वयम् अचि इति अनुवर्तते एकः पूर्वपरयोः इति अधिक्रियते. That is all. That is the first one. Next, clear and complete meaning. इकः अचि परे, इकः स्थाने अचि परे यण् आदेशः भवति. अवर्णाद् अचि परे पूर्वपरयोः गुणः एकादेशः भवति. एकेन वाक्येन सूत्रस्य अर्थः. Then udaharanam. So when I say ikaha yan achi, you should give examples for I, U, R, L. One example each. Sudhyapasyaha, dhatramshaha, lakritihi, whatever you have for ukara, vadvagamanam. As I said, you can give your own or what is there, that is okay. The example should be correct. So if you have pluta pragrihya achi nityam, you have to give one example for pluta, one for pragrihya. If there is idu there dvivachanam pragrihyam, you have to give one for e, one for u, one for a. If you have omang oscha, you should give one for om, one for ang. That's all. Then if there is any special aspect, say for example, engah padantadati, you can say echo yavayavaha ityasya apavadaha. Akasavarne dirghaha, you can say a plus a ityamshe gunasya yanadeshasya cha apavadaha. For etyedhatyutsu, there is a special line there. So ejadyohu kim. So why specifically say ejadi? So there is also an example given there. That is called dalakritya. Dalakritya is basically a word by word analysis of the sutra, which is there in some cases in Laghu Kaumudi. For example, for say Iko Savarna Shakalyasya, he says Padantaha kim. Why specifically only in Padanta? In Gauri, it is not Padanta, so it will not apply. So such things, if you remember, you can write that. Okay. And the last section is Sapramanam Uttaram Likhata. Here you can write whatever you know. Basically, you can try to collect like say Adesha Sthana Nirnayaha. Again, you don't have to write very long ones for each. Say Adesha Sthana Nirnayaha, just write the 4 paribhashas, 1 line example, for 1 line meaning and example. You can check this answer. Say for example, so the last Adhyaya Sankshepaha. Okay. So if you see here, you can also represent it as an image. There is no problem. You can put a table, that is also absolutely acceptable, right? So if you have to explain Enga Padantadati, write 1 line about the sutra, write 1 meaning, put a table along with the example. And you can say Echo Evayavaha iti apavadaha, right? So this is all you need to write for the sutra. Say here the paribhashas. So you can just give 1 example. I have given 2 here just for clarity. You can just give 1 example like this for each. Okay, if that question is asked and if you are attempting it. Okay. So there will be 5, out of which you have to answer 3. Okay. What is the minimum passing marks? Minimum passing marks in Vyoma for any exam is 60%. So for this course, we will take like cumulative across the midterm tests and the final exam. So don't worry about that. The reason for giving this test is purely to encourage you to study and write. So no worries about the marks itself. Okay, so I think we will stop here. If you have any questions, feel free to write to me. I will Okay. येन अक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयं नत्वा सरस्वतीं देवीं शुद्धां गुण्यां करोम्यहं पाणिनीयप्रवेशाय लघुसिद्धान्तकौमुदीम्। धन्यवादाः सर्वेभ्यः शुभाशंसनानि. All the best for the exam. So we will meet after the exams. So for any doubts, please email me soumya.krishnapur@vyomalabs.in.